The letter alleges that Border Patrol agents removed barriers installed by Texas, allowing more than 300 immigrants to enter the state illegally. Attorney General argues Texas is allowed to protect itself from invasion more than 24. Republican attorneys general signed a letter supporting Texas' right to defend its borders against immigrant invasions and telling President Biden to get out of the way. In President Joe Biden's harsh rebuke of the border crisis, 26 attorneys general expressed support for Texas' ongoing efforts to protect the U.S. Mexico border. The letter condemns Biden and Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for obstructing Texas' efforts to stem the flow of immigrants entering the state illegally. The publication of letter was timely. The Supreme Court decided last week, in a 5-4 decision, to temporarily reverse a lower court order that barred federal authorities from cutting down the razor wire barriers Texas has placed along its borders while cases pending. The authors note that Border Patrol officials who report Mayorkas have repeatedly poked holes in razor wire in Texas to allow immigrants enter the country illegally. In one example, Border Patrol used a forklift remove barriers placed by Texas to allow a group of more than 300 immigrants enter the state illegally. The letter says, the federal government must secure the border. And if they're not going to do that, they should try to stop Texas from doing a job they're not going to, said Iowa Attorney General Brenna. If ministration had spent half as much energy on securing the border as they did fighting Texas to do the job they weren't going to do, I think this problem would be a lot better off right now. He added. The letter was signed by the Attorneys General of Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Iowa, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, West Virginia and Wyoming. The arrival millions of people illegally in Texas as part of a coordinated attack on our borders is an invasion, the Attorney General wrote, adding states must be able to defend themselves against invasion. What you need to do is simple enforce law and protect the border. AGs said, if you can't bring yourself to enforce the law, get out of the way so Texas can do it. Supreme Court ruling allows Border Patrol officials to cut barbed wire barriers built by Texas along the southern border. Meanwhile, Texas continued to fortify the border and signaled its refusal to comply with ministration's demands. Texas Governor Abbott asserted the state's right to self-defense against what he called an immigrant invasion, saying President Biden's actions have caused an unprecedented invasion that we must defend against. The authors also write that Texas should be recognized for its efforts to protect its borders.